Mike Perlack here to entertain you with the help of Genesis. I am the one who guided you this far. All you know and all you feel. Nobody must know my name, for nobody would understand. And you kill what you fear, and you fear what you don't understand. I told you, for I must leave. You're on your own until the end. There was a choice, but now it's gone. I said you wouldn't understand. Take what's yours and be damned. I'm getting over being sick, but I feel better. And the other day I worked late at work doing an easy job, so I was able to listen to Genesis Duke. Yes, for long-time watchers of my content, I still have my cassette player and my cassettes in my locker at work. Anyways, that was the guide voice. Or actually, no, that was actually, the tune is actually Duke's Travels from 1980s Duke Genesis. When I saw them in concert, they had a light show for every song, and this little guy was up on the light song for on the light laser light show, walking around. I saw him in 2007 before Phil Collins health went. So this is just going to be a journal entry. You know, this past week or so, I've been playing the song Poker Face by Lady Gaga and Stronger by Kelly Clarkson in my head, and I think I figured out why. Musically, they're pretty much the same song. Well, anyways, I was ill. I became ill at work Friday, and I briefly was thinking to myself, I wonder if I could get fired for this, because I literally became sick while working on the floor. And there's a reason I thought this, though. This was a long time ago, this short story I'm going to share. Probably a good 25 years ago, but on one occasion, my mom passed out at a job, and she kind of sort of let me believe that that's why she lost the job. So that's why I briefly thought that I might lose my job, because I became sick right there at work. But knowing my mom, she probably was just tired of the job and pulled a no-call, no-show, and it was a temp job anyways. But no, that's why I thought that. But anyways, no, you don't lose a job just because you became ill. At least not a legitimate job. My mom just let me believe that. Well, this is 25 years ago. I was probably a little more naive, too. So the rest of this journal entry is just going to be further elaborations on some of my shorts I was posting. The one I posted a week ago, or whatever it was, about the tattoos. There's another thing that I was thinking about. What prompted me to make that video? When I was a kid and had money to burn, I came this close to paying a guy money to make me a T-shirt of Jennifer Aniston on the T-shirt, because he was able to draw and make T-shirts that way. But every time I said Jennifer Aniston, he'd say Jennifer Lopez. So I backed out of the deal because honestly, I thought what I was going to end up with was a T-shirt that looked like a Jennifer Aniston and J-Lo hybrid, and I didn't want that. Yeah, and I shared a video about my 2 cents on the whole Jimmy Kimmel being canceled, and probably the most interesting and the most noteworthy thing in that video short was the fact that you gotta love these leftist outlets, economists telling you that maybe the economy isn't so great. Yeah, because big business is suffering because small businesses are making a comeback, and big businesses are, what the hell? This was supposed to be about globalism, and now you're bringing back small businesses that we spent all that effort destroying. What do you think the Roni was for? Yeah, but that is for real, though. Somebody commented, where's the free speech in regard to Jimmy Kimmel? And I commented, no. I bet a lot of working class people were saying that very same thing. What do you call it when they suffer? And then there's the public service announcement, male versus female video I just posted. I just want to briefly elaborate a little bit on the fact that us guys don't need women to survive. Maybe procreate and like pass on our genes, but we don't need women to survive. That's why it's very important as a man that you make sure you're picking a good one, because you're actually going to be responsible for your health and safety as much as hers now. Because women do not do well. Women cannot survive very well without a man in her life. But us guys, we can go it alone. We can go it alone, and we'll be fine in terms of survival. In that video short I posted about there's no such thing as a liberal Charlie Kirk, that got a little bit of traction. But actually, I want to talk about somebody commented on the video of Erica Kirk forgiving her husband's killer, and somebody commented, "This is some crazy stuff." And I commented, "I'll pray for you. You obviously are a lost soul, and I'll pray for you." Person commented back at me, "I'm a practicing Catholic. I don't need your prayers." So I commented back, "Well, okay then," with a eye-rolling emoji. And it reminded me, it's in my life experience, I've dealt with a lot of uppity, self-proclaimed uppity Catholic people. And if I'm being honest, that is one of the reasons why I steered towards atheism. It's these uppity Catholics is what led me to decide to become an atheist. These uppity Catholic people. And there were a lot of them, especially on my father's side. Not really my father's side, actually. I told that in my introductory video 5 years ago. My parents are from opposite ends of the economic spectrum in the 70s and 80s. And I made that video short. Beware those who will not know peace until they have succeeded in making all people they interact with hate and deny God as they themselves have chosen to do so. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that in this world. You have to and you just, all you can do is pray for them. As somebody who used to be like that, I know there's no, it's not your place to dictate to these people. They have to come into God, come into truth in the way that God intends them to, not you or me. So, Trump blew the UN's cover. The prompter didn't work, and so something about the escalator. It just goes to show I guess, the movie Idiocracy was wrong. The world isn't going to become a better place on account of the powerful that's going to un-Nazi the whole world. No, but thank God Trump is what Trump did now today with the UN. Now, a future president cannot undo America first. We, the people's will for this country, will come first now, instead of these elitists and these globalist powers that be. No more. It's going to be, even after Trump is gone, the future is going to be America first, no matter what. It used to be that the next president comes in and does, oh, well, I'm just going to change this. Nope. Trump knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Our founding fathers knew what they were doing. It's going to be America first forever now. Not just until the next president comes in. I don't want this to be too long, but while I was ill, I did kick back and watch a couple of movies, two that I watched, both of them approximately 15 years ago. One called Zero Effect with Bill Pullman and Ben Stiller. And when I watched it 15 years ago, I think I was a little too emotionally involved with the players when I watched it originally. This time, it's an interesting crime drama. It's Bill Pullman's. He plays an unorthodox PD in it, but I recalled when I watched it 15 years ago being more impressed with Bill Pullman's character and the woman in the story. But this time, I just thought it was an interesting crime drama. It just goes to show. It's just my outlook of the world is different now. I don't let my emotions lead me. That's why I'm not a Democrat anymore. Initially, when I came home from work, I literally slept from noon Friday till about noon Saturday. But the next day, I slept on and off, and I couldn't sleep, so I ended up watching a second movie that, again, I watched about 15 years ago called Safe, starring Julianne Moore. And I remembered the first time watching this film 15 years ago, I just remembered, I recalled feeling sorry for the husband in the story, having a very unstable wife. And I actually did remember what I perceived to be the moral back then, and my opinion really hasn't changed of it now, 15 years later. The hardest thing for a woman to do is to love herself. Boo-hoo. The only difference is I don't think I was aware that this movie is actually set in 1987, which I don't think I caught that the first time I watched it 15 years ago. Yeah, definitely upper middle class issues with the chemicals and oh my God, it's making me sick and I didn't in 1987 I didn't even know what bottled water was. I didn't think anybody knew what bottled water was in 1987. But yeah, my impression of this one was pretty much the same. Speaking of Julianne Moore, that's the actress that my father claims he met at the post office one day and, quote, she was rude to me. So now I guess I'll end this video talking about my recently institutionalized father. So a joke that we would always tell, or I would tell in my father's on-again, off-again incarceration life, I'd say that, yeah, he's making good use of the time while he's in the slammer. He's writing poetry. His latest poem is called My 6 Months Showering with Other Men. And I was recollecting when I would tell this joke to people people at work. I recall I was telling it to somebody. It was a woman. I don't even remember the person, but it was a coworker from like 15, 20 years ago, something like that. And when I told them that joke, this lady says, he liked it? Some people just don't know. Sarcasm and irony, I guess. But I didn't know at the time, 15, give or take 15 years ago, I didn't really know how to respond to that. But I tell the lady the joke, my father, when he was incarcerated, he wrote a poem by 6 months. And say, he liked it? But I didn't know what to do with it back then. But now that I'm a little more mindful, whatever, and not as scared of my shadow, I guess, whatever. But I would have had a field day with that. I would have said, liked it? Lady, this boy relished in it! Yeah, growing up, my father, whenever he was incarcerated, would always mention the two things he'd always bring up anytime he was incarcerated. One was the extreme low of it, and one was the extreme high. The extreme low being, "The dirty, rotten cops put me in handcuffs, son of a beating." He didn't like that. He didn't like cops, and he didn't like handcuffs for some reason. But he loved the shower sword fights. Okay. That'll do it for this one. Journal entry number 49. Mike Berlack. Thank you for your time. Thank you to President Trump for securing America First forever.